I got to spend a whole day with the A95L from Sony. It is definitely an impressive TV. We're going to go through all the changes with the A95L that is different from the A95K, and there's quite a few differences. Also, I'll talk about game mode because there's a lot of changes there as well. And I'll show you a little bit of the unboxing process and give you my first-hand impressions of the A95L from Sony. Hope you guys enjoy this video. All right, let's start with the unboxing process. It's pretty straightforward. The 55-inch is going to be a little bit different than the other sizes. You're going to have to rip the box halfway down. There is cutout markers to do so. The reason why you have to do this is because that is how you're going to lift the TV out of the box. It's not like the other sizes where you're going to lift the box over top of the TV. You then can remove the styrofoam from the bottom to install the stand that way, so you never have to lay the TV face down. When it comes down to the 55-inch version though, you do have to lay it face down to install the stand. When talking about the stand, it is as plain as you can get. It's not like the A95K, it's not super flashy, it's not super heavy. So a lot of people will like this change and some people will not like this change. In my opinion, the A95K stand was one of the coolest TV stands out there, but I understand why a lot of people didn't like it. It was heavy, it was kind of tough to install, and it was a little bit of a burden when it came down to where you can put your TV on the tabletop. Not only that, a lot of people have soundbars, and there was really no place to put the soundbar with the A95K. That changes with the A95L, as there is two different options for your stand. You can have it where you have room for a soundbar underneath, or you can have it a little bit more closer to the table for a really clean look. But I opted to put it up in the soundbar position so that you could see what that looks like, because I think a lot of you guys are going to mostly put it in this position, as a lot of you do have soundbars. However, depending on the quality of your soundbar, you might not even want to use your soundbar after you hear the A95L's TV sound, and I'll get to that in a little bit. All right, before we move on to the next category, I just want to remind you that this is the full out-of-the-box experience that you would get if you bought an A95L at the store. That's right, this is not a sponsored video, but if you want to support the channel, one of the best ways you could do that is by buying your next TV using one of my affiliate links. And if you're not in the market to buy a TV, simply just hitting the like button does go a long way. Thank you guys so much for your support. Now let's go on to the rest of the video. When we go through the setup process, there's only one real important thing for you to remember, and that's going to be the power saving option. They will ask you that during the setup process. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward when it comes down to a TV setup. I really don't need to go through it with you guys. It's pretty easy, and if you need a video on how to do it, you can go watch my A80J setup video or my A95K setup video, as I do go through the setup options there. After the TV is set up, you have the option to set up a Bravia cam. I do plan on making a video talking about the Bravia cam and how to set it up. So those of you that are interested in that, I'll try my best to get a video out there for you. Now with the setup, one thing you guys are definitely going to want to do with your TV is to run the software update. And to do that, you just want to go into your settings menu, find the about section, and then go to system update. Once you run that, then you will have the latest A95L update, and that is highly recommended for the best picture quality of the A95L at launch. All right, so one of the first things you'll notice about the A95L, if you're coming from an A95K or an A80K or an A80J or an A90J, is the UI is different. Even the picture modes are different on the A95L. Professional mode is what used to be custom mode. So if you're a fan of custom mode, you'll love professional mode. And those of you that like professional mode but wish it had a little bit more pop, try out cinema mode, as that is going to have advanced contrast enhancer applied to it, as well as live color. These are things that can make the picture pop a little bit more. I personally do like cinema mode, and I also like professional mode, so I end up using both modes from time to time depending on what I'm watching. One thing that might throw you off is by default, the picture settings is actually hidden. So you'll have to go into the edit menu and make sure you check mark that selection. Otherwise, your picture settings are kind of hidden. I only figured that out because I saw it on FOMO's stream and he was struggling with it. So thank you, FOMO, for struggling with that, so I don't have to. Once you get into the picture mode settings, you'll see that most of it is about the same, but But there are some new options available like the motion settings, and I'll go through all of the settings in my updated settings guide once I make that, but I don't want to add it here because it'll be such a long video if I do that. So let's move on to the new content type selection. You might notice that there is a new content type selection, and this is going to give you the ability to switch from video mode to game mode. And when you switch to game mode, you now have some new picture modes to choose from in game mode. You have RTS game, FPS game, and standard game. This is not a brand new thing. LG and Samsung have been doing this, so it's really nice to see Sony take this approach. But what Sony did was they took this approach and they took it up to another level. This is by far the most customization that I've ever seen within the game genre selection menus. Now, what's great about the genre selection is that you don't have to use these default settings that the genre selections give you. You can change them up completely to the liking of whatever game you're playing. Now, again, this is a thing with other TV brands, but like I said, Sony does take it up another level because they give you so many different options to customize your picture mode, and it saves all the settings. I've already found great utilization for this. For example, with Starfield. Starfield is one of those games that I feel like I'm not a big fan of the director's intent when it comes down to that game. I feel like the black levels are very raised, and many people feel that way as well. So I created a custom mode just for that game within the RTS game picture setting. And I'm a big fan of the results that I got. I ended up making this game a lot more playable for me personally when it comes down to the way that the picture quality looks. And picture quality matters so much to me when I'm playing video games. So this is cool to have this option. And for those of you that like to play FPS games, by default, they do have it set up to where you can see into corners a little bit better with the black equalizer. Now, this does completely wreck the image, but you don't really care about that if you're playing a first-person shooter game, right? You're just trying to see into corners, and they do set up that quite well for you off the gate. But you can switch your settings to whatever you like. I think anytime you have all these customization options for the end user, that's nothing but a good thing. Now, before I talk about the picture quality, we definitely have to talk about the sound. It is absolutely insane for TV speakers. I have no doubt in my mind that if you have an entry-level soundbar, this is going to blow that sound away. What I really think is cool about having good TV speakers is that you feel a little bit more immersed when it comes down to the sound. Like the sound actually feels like it's coming from different parts of the TV. If you have a soundbar that's sitting on the bottom of your TV, then you turn your TV sound off, you're not getting that same experience, and the sound is just coming from the bottom of your TV in a lot of cases, especially when it comes down to those entry level or even mid-range soundbars. I think this TV sound is probably good enough for most people. One thing I wanted to add is that you can actually use this TV as a center channel if you have a compatible Sony sound system like a soundbar. All right, so that was the sound. How does the TV picture quality look? Man, to put it simply, it's fantastic. There is no real complaints that I have when it comes down to the uniformity of the panel, which is no surprise. QD-OLED has typically been very clean, and a Sony TV is usually very well quality controlled when it comes down to the panel, so that's nice to see. Now, when it comes down to color and picture quality, so far I'm really blown away by it, and I can't wait to do like a full review on this TV and dive in to different things. I want to try out low bitrate content, but like I said, this isn't a full review. It's just my first impressions. I say so far so good. It really does appear to be living up to the hype. Now, I'll be interested to compare it to other TVs, which you will find on this channel, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. And I will also do a gaming video for the A95L, so we can see it. How good does it actually game? And if you guys want to watch more videos on the A95L, check out one of these videos right here. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.